All right. Hi. Welcome to Premiere. So let's get started. I just don't even know where to start. There's so many things to talk about. But if you see this window, click on New Project. This also kind of assumes that you have a folder full of video clips. Whether or not you're watching this in 2018 and we're working on these collage clips, or if you're watching this from the future and it's some other folder I have you working with. Doesn't matter, but the folder we're working with today is called Collage Clips. In that folder, I've got a bunch of video clips. So this video assumes you already have a folder with videos in it on your desktop. Let's go back to Premiere. I'm going to make a new project here. All this stuff, just keep the same. The only thing you are concerned with is renaming your file. So for this one, I'm going to call this Collage Edit. Click OK. Yes, we will overwrite that. Now, your computer will look something like this. And I am going to do what this window is describing to me, in that I need to import media to start. So what we're going to do is drag our video clips into this window. This is called the project window. So if you don't have this window, on the lower left-hand side of Premiere, look under the window menu and choose project. Okay, but now that I've got this window open, I'm going to go back to my Finder, where I'm going to look in my collage clips folder, and I'm just going to drag about 10 clips or so, 15 clips into this project window. So to do that, I'm going to click on my first clip that I want to import, hold on the Shift key, click on the last clip, and you can see now I've got 21 of 77 selected. That's good. That's enough. Plenty. Now click and drag it and drop it in this window. And you might have to wait a second. Really, ideally, you see this blue outline pop up. Let go of the mouse, and that means that you have successfully imported files into your project. So what's next? I think that's all I want to say about that. I don't have any filler audio to speak of. Okay. Now I have a list of clips. And I think by default it will look like this, actually. So you have like a bunch of clips. I like to use the list view, especially because my window is so small here. That is this very lower left-hand button to switch to the list view on my project window. Then you're going to just double click on any of these clips. I'm going to click on the name Movie 0007. So when you double click, that will put that clip here in the source window. If I double click on 0004, it will show me that clip. Let me turn my audio down, make sure I'm not going to blast my ears here. I'm going to try number 7 again. And then in the source window in the upper left, I'm going to click play. We'll see a little, kind of a quick, maybe a little jerky. Let's see what 0004 looks like. This is just a nice slow tilt down. Okay, so I like this. Now, while I'm looking at this in my source window, notice that I have it says it's 14 seconds long. So this means it's 14 seconds, 25 frames. I want this to be much shorter, about 5 seconds long. So to do that, I'm going to crop my clip, and I'll begin that by just clicking the play button. Then I'm going to hit the I key on my keyboard. So the letter I. That sets the end point, the beginning of my clip. Now I'll hit the O key, the letter O. That's the end of my clip. So the letter I and the letter O set the in and the out points. So that's what's going to play now in my video. And now to add this to the timeline, I'm just going to click and drag this video and drop it into the timeline. And that actually creates a sequence of clips, which I only have one of right now, in my timeline window, For example, if I wanted to take this clip, 0524, I'm going to double click on that. A little darker, that's okay. Oh, there's me giving direction. Looks like probably really good advice, right? Okay, so I really just want to keep the area that I'm in, right? Not who I'm talking to. Ooh, look how smooth that is, right? Like a dancer. Okay, so right as she exits the frame, I'm gonna hit I. Hit play. Ah, yes. Who can forget Mr. Zbar's tripod lesson? Hit the O key to set the out point. So I've got my in and out point. Now, my problem is I've got talking that I don't want. So in order to make sure that I don't have that audio, that unwanted audio down here in my timeline, because remember, if I click and drag this clip, it's just going to drop it. I want to put it right next to that first clip. But you see these little waveforms down here. I don't want the audio. So I'm going to undo, Command Z. And rather than click and drag on this icon so that it copies my video and audio, I'm just going to drag on this little film strip icon. And that will drag just the video only. And now I'll put that next to my first clip, video 1. I could scrub through here. You could see it cuts to video 2. So Zbarth, what if I already dragged this in and I don't want to re-import this, but I do want to get rid of this audio? Well, if I click on the audio and try and delete it by hitting delete, everything goes away. What I need to do is unlink this footage. So I'm going to right click on the audio, scroll down, and choose unlink. So now I have audio that I can just click on and hit delete. Okay, so why do I have two screens here? There's two kind of sources of video right now. The source window on the left is what you have selected in your project window. So if you double click on something, it will show up in the source window. But once you add something to the timeline, then it's going to show up in the program window. So when you start compiling your sequence and putting clips in order, it's going to play here in the program window. Okay, I'm going to add one more clip here. Let's preview this. Quickly set an in point and an out point. There we go. Okay. Now I'll click and drag that video to the end. And what's going to happen is it's going to get too long here in the sequence. Let me see. So notice I'm running out of space. It doesn't show all the video at once. So I'm going to zoom out. So to zoom, I'm going to click and drag on these little circles here below my timeline. If you click and drag that to the right, it'll zoom out so I can see more of what I've got. So I've got these 3 clips that play in a row. Now what I want to do is make a transition from, let's zoom in a little bit, this clip to this clip. So transitions can be found under the window menu. We're going to go under window and choose effects. That opens the effects window here where the project window once was. So for transitions, I'm going to look under video transitions. I'm going to click on the little twirly next to the folder, scroll down and find the dissolve. So I'll open up the dissolve folder. Cross dissolve is highlighted in blue because it's the default transition. To add it between these 2 clips, I'm just going to click and drag it and drop it directly on top of those 2 clips. I'm going to zoom in a little more. You can see what we did. So now if I scrub across, you'll see a transition. I can hit play. And it takes about a second to go from one clip to another. Now, what's nice is that I can click and drag on the edge of this dissolve to make it take a longer time to dissolve. So now it's going to take a little longer, and that might be good, that might be bad, depending on what you're trying to do. Let's zoom out a little bit. I actually didn't like that, so I'm going to shrink that down a little bit. Hit the space bar to play. That's good. Okay, awesome. Next one I want to show you. So your challenge is to find 4 more transitions. So we have a cross dissolve. Now I'm going to look under the wipes. If you've ever watched Star Wars, they do wipes a lot. I'm going to click and drag this wipe and drop it between these 2 clips, like so. So now if I play that clip, it does a little whoop, wipe from one to the other, and I can extend that to make it take longer. So now it goes a little slower. Very cool. Yeah, that's it. So you should have at least 6 clips. Oh wow, and I can't resist this, right? So I've got this wipe. So if you want to get rid of a transition, just click on it and hit delete. I noticed that I've got this boy like walking across right there. So what I'm going to do is actually drag my wipe and see if this effect, this transition works a little better. You see that? So it's just a little late. I'm going to drag on the edge of my clip here. Like so. So let me show you what I did. I'm going to zoom in and shorten the edge of this clip. So click and drag on the edge of this clip to shorten it. Now I've got a gap here. To get rid of the gap, you can right click and choose ripple delete, and that will scoot everything else over. Now I'll drag my wipe between the 2 clips and we should see, ha, that's fun. Okay, music. So I'm assuming you've already downloaded music from the website I linked to. So we're gonna look now in my downloads folder. We'll go to the Finder, choose downloads. I've got Slow Jam right here in my downloads folder. Just click and drag Slow Jam and drop it in the audio portion. So notice I have audio 1. I'm going to drop it right here. There's a little green bar that'll pop up. Let's listen to that. That's funny. Okay. So now what I want to do, notice my audio keeps playing over a black screen. That's because my video stopped playing, right? I'm going to go back to my arrow tool. So now what I need to do is zoom out, drag on the circle here below the timeline so that I can see the end of my audio. And now notice when I hover over the end, I get that red cursor. Now I can click and drag that and it will just snap to the edge of my video clip. A little finishing touch here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And remember when I said that the default was under dissolve, cross dissolve? See how it's blue? You can quickly add a default transition by right-clicking between clips or at the end of a clip and choosing apply default transitions. So that will make it fade out at the end. So that's the video that will fade out. Okay, but my audio just abruptly stops. So I'm going to right-click at the end of my audio and also apply a default transition, which is going to be a dissolve. So now my audio will fade out. Okay. Yep, there you go. That's it. Hope you enjoyed. And once you've added all 5 or 6 clips, 5 or 6 transitions, you're ready to export. So I'm going to quickly show that. We're going to go to the File menu. First, you want to save your project, of course. Then, Export. Under the Export Media, or Export menu, choose Media. Then, under Format, you're going to choose H.264. And the preset is the very bottom. You're going to choose YouTube. Okay. So I've changed the format, the preset. Now I need to go to the output name. That's this little blue link here. Click on that. Tell it where to go and what to name it. Likely you've got this 11.0 folder for the location. You definitely want to change that to movies or desktop. And then click save. Then you go export and it will export that movie. Take about a minute or 2. Take that file, upload it to Google Classroom, and enjoy the grade that you get. I'm sure it will be a good one. Goodbye.